Hello everyone, welcome to Ekam Academy. So this particular lecture is on Economic and Political Weekly Analysis, which was issued the first magazine of the month of March, so which is dated with March 2nd. Here in this particular Economic and Political Weekly, we have some important topics to be discussed, which are very important for your UPSC preparation. In such kind of a topic, we have one particular topic related with dairy cooperatives in India. So here we are going to discuss the aspect related with dairy cooperatives in India. Okay. So this is the first article of this particular month of March. So if you could see, generally the world's output in the dairy business, if you see, entirely it is contributing towards 30% of the GDP to the world's output which is there. So this business has huge impact on the world economic outlook which would be there, whereby if you understand what actually a cooperative system is within this particular dairy, so it may be defined as people association that combine resources to take benefits from the enterprise. It means the producers who would be there, they themselves has the ownership, and that particular ownership will give them huge amount of benefits. If you see the cooperatives which are there, what are the elements which would be there in this particular cooperatives? We have cooperatives in India regarding with dairy aspects. We have the cooperatives regarding with sugar. We have the cooperatives in very other aspects. Mostly it is sugar and it is dairy and it is textiles, on which generally we would be having cooperatives as such. So through these cooperatives, generally what would happen is there shall be some operational efficiency, like all the operations which generally happen within an industry or within a framework or within a sector of economy. That particular operational efficiency would be very high in this particular regard. This is one point. Second is performing business operation. So these cooperatives generally tend to raise the business and give profits at different levels of hierarchy which are there in that system. And most important is this particular cooperative which would be there, they would be giving self-empowerment and self-employment to that particular person who is involved or attached with this cooperative. So maximum reliance he can do when he can be attached with this. And we shall be having a mutual accord within that particular cooperative segment or within the other cooperative segment which we would be there, and equal participation of all. Here, as many farmers, dairy farmers, when they are involved in this particular dairy cooperative, no one is higher or no one is superior or no one is inferior. Everyone is having equal participation and everyone has equal benefits which would be raised from that particular dairy cooperative, and we shall have huge economic gain, and that economic gain would be equally distributed. So if you could see, like, these cooperatives generally are very important in India. Most of the sectors have to have these cooperatives. In India, cooperative farming which is there, that has to be come into picture, because cooperative farming will be helping us in a variant way. If you see, they help, generally these cooperatives help small farmers to realize higher output prices with the fluctuations which they see in the market. They are not associated with cooperative systems. There shall be some stable income as such. So, and these cooperative systems, when farmers participate in it, they generally tend to get this credit and they generally tend to have some stable pricing. So these cooperatives ensured the highest producer participation. With the dairy cooperative system involved in India during the White Revolution time in the Gujarat region, in the Anand district of Gujarat, Amul Milk Union Limited, which was the dairy cooperative over there, that cooperative has ensured the highest producer participation. As I've already said, the producer would be the owner over here, through guarantee of distribution of wealth. Clear? So this makes the producer participation to become highest, and the success of Indian cooperatives may be in the regions of sugar, dairy and handloom sector itself. It did not cross beyond this particular segment of dairy, textile, sugar. So if you could see, population who are indulged in this particular cooperative segment in Gujarat, if you could check out, 3.18 million producers are located, are being part of this particular Amul Anand Milk Union Limited. And Karnataka में जो नंदिनी डेयरी हैं, clear, the Karnataka dairy production unit, which we call it as Nandini. Right now in the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh also, we are having this particular distribution of Nandi dairy products. So in this 2.22 million people are involved. So it has a huge base of population who rely upon this particular cooperative segment. So they promote milk cooperatives in wake of raising demand for nutritious food generally. Due to the increasing population going to near future, these particular cooperatives, they generally promote extensive amount of production, but due to significant consumption of water, feed, energy and greenhouse emissions, this dairy sector which is there either in India or across the world, it is under huge stress. Why? Because in this particular dairy sector, what is the actual challenge is, by using different investments like the source of power, the feed or the water which would be used in this dairy sector, there is huge stress. So what we have to do is, we have to use energy efficient technologies have to be developed in this particular dairy sector, so that this energy efficient sector would be reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. Along with that, we have to maintain a balanced dairy ecosystem by transcending the quality of milk and allied products with that of milk. Finally, the challenge is to make up United Nations Sustainable Development Goal to be satisfied. Environment impact mitigation has to be reduced, and without compromising the production in all the units, because there is a huge demand in this particular dairy products as of now. Moving further with increasing population, these dairy products would be having extensive demand. So to cope up that particular aspect, production would be increased, and that production would be having certain sources involved in it. Those particular sources will also have certain outcomes, like it might lead to more greenhouse gas emissions. That should also be concentrated, and sustainable development goals, if there is anything associated with it, that has to be concentrated. So these three elements have to be concentrated while we promote this dairy cooperative system effectively in India and increasing the dairy cooperative network. And moving further, if you see the main philosophy, what is the actual base philosophy of this milk cooperatives? This milk cooperatives generally would be having an integrated approach, which would be involving certain key elements. It would focus on farmers' income, like increasing the farmers' income is one particular basic core philosophy, and employment for the poor. So where most of the poorest of the poor should also be employed in transporting, communicating, processing, production, all these integrated approaches would be there. And chemical free farming has to be done, so which will be one of the sustainable methods of doing the dairy farming. And clean energy would be used so that greenhouse gas emissions won't be released, hence contributing towards the mitigation of the climate change or global warming impacts. And animal care, along with the human impact and human income, animal care effectively would be done. So this kind of integrated approach which is there, that is the core fundamental philosophy of the milk cooperative which we have. So there is some fact figure which has been released recently. If you have seen, like between 2019 to 24, fifth consecutive year across the global level, there has been annual growth rate slowdown in the production process of the milk, including India, across the world. What is the amount of target which has kept? The amount of target is not reached, and we are falling short of the annual reaching the target of that particular dairy production. So what might be the possible reasons for this particular shortfall? Fifth consecutive annual year we are having this shortfall. If you see, we are finding huge amount of labor shortages. The manual effective labor shortage is not only in India but all across the world we are finding it. Second is irregular weather patterns due to the climate change, global warming, increasing in sea level, melting of snow. This is also one reason with which conditions like El Nino, La Nina conditions are making huge drought and floods to occur, which are reducing the pasture lands, and rapid urbanization is reducing the pasture land, forest cover, hence resulting into least production of the dairy, because cattle, when the pasture land would be reduced, obviously cattle would be losing with fodder, hence resulting into the shortfall. And we are having surging in input cost day by day. So all these conditions have made the annual growth rate slow down in the milk production. But here there is a case study of China, that decline in the purchase from China. China has declined the purchase from the world community exclusively from India due to the domestic production which China started focusing upon in this dairy production. And if you see certain facts, earlier India used to send this particular dairy products to China, but right now China started its domestic consumption. This might also be one reason why in this fifth consecutive annual year we have the growth slowdown. And India is the largest producer of milk as of now with 23% of the global milk production. Earlier it was European Union, but when there were certain limitations and ceiling limits kept for the dairy production, then India became the largest producer of this milk. And during the first decade of post-independence, we were not in this situation. Clear? So witnessed there during the first year, like from 1950s to 60s, if you see, we had seen a negative growth rate, but due to white revolution, which was introduced in India during 1970s, we have witnessed this particular progress, and that progress is because of the cooperatives which were started and white revolution which was started. Like the progress has been achieved by Anand pattern cooperatives, where production, procurement, transportation are managed by the milk cooperatives itself. So Anand is a district in the Gujarat region where actually the cooperative system of dairy farming has been started, and Amul which is there, this is the base and outcome of this particular Anand pattern of cooperative. And the white revolution which has been started, which is also referred to as Operation Flood. So within this white revolution we have different phases where we have implemented it. In the phase 1 between 1970s and 80s, the white revolution included scale of the sale of the skimmed milk powder and butter oil. So along with the direct dairy milk selling, they have also sold this particular skimmed milk powder and butter oil in this. And if you go into the phase 2 of the white revolution or Operation Flood, there has been huge increase in milk sheds from 18 milk sheds to 136, whereby 43,000 village cooperatives were set up till the phase 2, whereby 42,50,000 milk producers came under this particular cooperative system. And in the phase 3, 30,000 new dairy cooperatives increased milk procurement infrastructure. So whereby total after the phase 3, if you have calculated, we had completely 73,000 village cooperative systems which existed, which has started from that particular Anand Milk Union Limited. So post this white revolution, what has happened after this Operation Flood or white revolution? First, India became self-dependent on dairy product. As I have shown you, during the first decade post-independence, there was a negative growth rate here. And we had established huge amount of national milk grid. So earlier region-wise we used to calculate, but we have established the cluster of milk grid and production. Third is seasonal price variations were minimized. Earlier dairy used to be varied very seasonally, as how we see vegetables and fruits which will have the seasonal price fluctuations. The dairy products also had seen huge seasonal fluctuations. Due to constant producing of milk and milk products, there has been constant pricing of this particular milk as of now. If you see, the milk packet somewhere would be ranging from 30 to 40 rupees, the half liter wala packet jo bhi hai. So independence from milk imports. Earlier jab bhi kam pada tha, milk imports jo bhi the, us pe rely hote the. So usse independence mil gaya hame. And even exports have started. Post this white revolution, India started exporting the dairy products to African countries, South American countries, and to some of the Asian countries. 10 million farmers who were there, they become self-reliant and they have enjoyed the benefits. And we have met sustainable development goals like food security, decent livelihoods, gender equality, environmental protection. All these are outcomes which have been came as a post-math of this particular white revolution and Operation Flood. So any article related with white revolution, dairy cooperative or Operation Flood or regarding with the mixed farming in India, please try to focus on it. Chances are very great that you would be having a question this year in UPSC mains or UPSC prelims. So make sure that you read these constant articles, and we would be helping you with such precise articles continuously. If you want any particular article to be explained by us through a video, please do drop in the comment section. We invite your valuable feedbacks and suggestions so that we would be coming better and better for you. So please do like this video and share this video, and do subscribe to Ekam IAS Academy channel and click on the bell icon for the continuous notifications, so that we would be coming up when your encouragement would be there. We have lot of burning desire for you to provide huge amount of content into the YouTube channel. So take the benefit out of it. Thank you for watching this video. Have an awesome day. Jai Hind.